Hello and welcome in this lesson. It's going to be about basic aircraft handling. We are right now located in the south of Corsica, between Corsica and the Sardaigne. It's in the Mediterranean Sea, and we are just like right in front of us, Bonifacio. Try to turn, give you a better view. The trim here is actually an important part of the flight, and we're going to work on that today. Is if you go on the back of the airplane here, we can see like a very back on the right side. We don't have anything on the left side, but on the right side we can see we have a little instrument here. So I'll show you on the ground maybe after. I'm sure if it's working. I tried earlier, it doesn't work, but the trim is there to remove the force. When you fly and you, let's say, you push like that, you have air is pushing, like the aileron is going up, but because it's going up, the air is pushing on it, making the force on the yoke very, very hard. So because it's very hard and you need to climb for a long time, what you need to do is you trim your airplane and you remove the force. So there's a little aileron on it, and its job is to remove the force. If your airplane is well trimmed, make sure my flaps are up. If your airplane is well trimmed, you can fly, and I'm going to trim it here. It's going to take some time. So how we trim a plane is, see, the plane is going up, my airspeed is supposed to go down at the same time, so I'm going to push forward. And here I'm going to feel, in a real airplane, you're going to feel a force, and you're going to fight. So what you're going to do is, if you need to push forward because it's forcing, you're going to trim a little bit forward. See, like I'm barely touching. Well, my trim is a little bit very, very sensitive as well, so I don't need to do much. And until you don't feel any force on it. So you guys, you may not have a trim. If you don't have one, I recommend you to get one. If you do a lot of hand fly, if you're doing airline stuff like that, it's not as necessary. Most of the time airline use actually electric trim. So it's a switch you have on the yoke, and usually you have a 2-speed trim. So you have a trim with 2 buttons. If you press both, it's going to do a very fast trimming, and if you use one, it's going to be a slower trimming. So it's going to be more precise and helpful. Personally, I always felt the electric trim has always been more hard to do a good job to do a good job as trimming the aircraft. A good hand fly, to be good to hand fly a plane is to be good at trimming your plane. And you can fly hours, and I saw some pilots telling, oh, you don't have autopilot, I don't know how you do it. Well, if you know how to trim your plane, look, I'm not touching my controls, the plane is not going crazy. You know, it's like pretty much well trimmed. I'm not quite at my 6,000 yet. You know, it's going up and down, so I can adjust a little bit, but in a real airplane, and even on sim, if you spend a little bit of time to trim your plane properly, and with time you get used to, you can fly hours and you don't really need to touch your control. So the only thing is the plane is trimmed with a balance, because the weight, the airflow, everything. If anything change, like we're burning fuel right now, if everything changes as we're burning fuel, the weight and balance change. So as we fly, we are going to need to trim more the aircraft to maintain a proper flight level like I have here. So that is trimming. Some airplane you need to move a lot to be able to trim a little bit. I need to change mine. I think it's way too sensitive. But the idea is there. When you climb, I'm set at 6,000. It's going to be just be easier for the exercise to show you a few things. But when you fly VFR and you fly eastbound like I'm flying right now, I'm supposed to be either at 5,500 or 7,500. Like it's always an odd number plus 500, and will be the even number if you're flying more westbound, and plus 500 for VFR flights. Another things about trimming the plane, if the plane is stable, I just touch it a little bit. I'm going to wait for a second. Like, technically the plane is pretty much well trimmed, and if I do like a big movement like this one here, and I let the airplane goes, like I'm not touching anymore, I'm going to see what's going on. You see the plane is climbing, the airspeed, it was descending, now it's descending, so the airspeed is climbing, and I'm going to see, I'll just keep the arm straight here just to try to do a much turn. I'm going to see what's going to happen. We were at 6,000 feet earlier, and we'll see at what altitude we're going to be when the plane is done doing its thing. So we see airplane, when we fly the airplane, we're always trading. We're doing a trading job. Every time the plane goes down, every time we're losing altitude, we're gaining on speed. Every time we're losing speed, we're gaining on altitude. So so when you fly the aircraft, is what you're doing all the time is trading thrust against drag, trading lift against weight or gravity, and you manage all these things with this control, with powers. And you see exactly 6,000 feet, the plane is more or less stable on its altitude, on its rate of climb. It's still bouncing a little bit, but barely nothing. Airspeed is stable, and I'm exactly at 6,000 feet. That is, the plane is well trimmed. So the plane don't really need you to fly. Even if you upset the balance, it will go back to what is programmed to. So that is a good example of speed altitude trading, and you see everything goes back. Now we're going to see how we do actually a turn. Let's say I'm going to do a turn on the right. What I want is, I don't want to keep turning until I finish. Let's say I want to turn at 120 degrees. What I need to do, I'm going to turn, my other hand, I'm going to turn the yoke until I reach whatever degrees I want. Like I say, I want to get 30 degrees bank of turn. Soon I reach 30 degrees bank of turn, I pull back my control neutral, and I do my turn until it's time to do the turn, and I will do the opposite things to stop the turn. So here I'm stable, 6,000. I'm going to do a turn. So I do 30 degrees, I reach 30 degrees, up, and I go back neutral. And I do my turn. Until I reach 120, I turn the other way. Yep, I go back neutral. So something I don't know if you notice, when I done my turn, the airplane started going down. So when the plane is level, 100% of the lift is going vertical. So when the aircraft do a turn, some of the lift is going toward the turn. So it's less lift to keep it high in altitude, because some of them are used for creating the turn. So now if I do my turn and let go, we can see my airspeed indicator is going down here. There you go, it's going down. So when you do a turn, I'm going to go back where I was. When you do a turn, you always need to push a little bit the control back. So let's say I'm going to do another turn to the right. I do my turn, take the angle, go back neutral, and I push back a little bit. And if you do a long turn, like if you can, let's say you do a steep turn, you can use a little bit the trim to push back. And you do your turn, you turn, and you push back. And when you're done turning, if you trimmed it, you have to push forward because the plane is going to go up. So I'm going to try to see that actually. I need to retrim the plane, I think, a little bit. That is the Sardinia. It's part of Italy, I believe. been a long time. Okay, there you go. So I'm here. I'm going to do another turn to the right, 30 degrees, up, push back, trim a little bit to maintain my altitude. See, up. There you go. But now if I want to level off the wings, because I trimmed, now the plane is climbing. So there you go. That really show in a turn the aircraft lost lift. So yeah, we have the Sardine right there, and we have Corsica right there. It's a very beautiful place. When you learn how to fly and trimming your airplane, is always look outside. By looking outside, I know my plane is level right now just by looking outside, because I know my reference. I know how far my nose is from the horizon, even though the plane was going down a little bit. Yeah. So you just get used to look at that. And if you're stabilized, have a peak to the vertical speed. So when you trim your plane, try to look at that and confirm with your vertical speed or your altimeter you actually trim properly your airplane. Donc remember, when you trim, let's say I want to start a climb and I want to get somewhere over there for my climb. So I'm looking outside and I'm going to trim a little bit to remove a little bit the force, and I'm going to wait. And I would wait for stabilize, see the speed is bleeding a little bit, and I see some force up, I'll cancel the force a little bit again. I'm going to trim until the aircraft balance. The plane will climb by itself. It's the same thing. I'll stop climbing, push the airplane forward. The plane is going to speed up. Because it's going to speed up, more lift is going to happen over the wings, more the plane is going to want to climb. So because you want to climb, you're going to push more forward. Because you have weight, you trim a little bit forward the airplane to cancel this force in your hand. So I have a force feedback. If you don't have a force feedback, you won't have the force. So it's going to be mostly visual. If you have a force feedback, it's not going to be great, that much great. It's going to be better, but it's not really to feel like a real airplane. My memory for when I used to fly a smaller airplane is when I trim, I felt the pressure and the control going off. I feel the cancelling, the weight cancelling get removed in the controls. And I do not have that. I just look outside and I realize, oh, the plane is climbing now. Does that mean I'm putting too much force? I need to release. And I realize, oh yeah, my trim actually did something. So it's just flight simulation is still not that great to simulate the trimming. If you're flying airliners, though, I do feel the trimming, and it even on the plane I'm flying at work is don't have manual trims, they have electric trim on it. It does more feel like an airliner trimming though. So I'm going to do some stalling. Try to see how to recover from stall. So there's two different ways to do it. The first way, the way I learned in France, the one is you stall, you push the control forward to dive the plane, regain speed, and you kind of flare out and go back up. And you have the smart way, the one I learned in North America, where you do not put the plane in dive, but you release pressure in the control and pull it back and take it back. So you're in stall, so that means control is going to be right over you. You're stalling, you let the pressure back. You don't push it forward, you just let go neutral and you push it back. and that is enough to get off a stall. So the first thing we're going to do is a clean configuration. Clean configuration, that means the flaps. I'll find my hand. The flaps is going to be up, and if we have plane with retractable gear, the gear also is going to be up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce power, and I'm going to maintain my altitude the best as I can until the airplane stall. When airplane stalls, always one wing stall before the other. And depending how you do it, if you have too much aileron or thing like that, you can actually go in a spin. So if I go in a spin, that means I screw up my stall. So I'm going to show you my hands and get the power off. Up, reduce power. See my airspeed start bleeding over there. Altitude start to drop. So up, pushing back. I'm not trimming much because I have to do a recover. Try to maintain my altitude. Airspeed is bleeding. My hand is ready for the recover. I'm going to watch the speed as if we can. There you go. Almost went on the speed there. So we see we're at 6,500 feet, and we lost 200 feet, about 250 feet. That is the North American way, or at least Canadian way, to do a stall. So why I think this one is best is because I lost only 200 feet. So why is that important? Because the only time, not the only time, but the most likely time you're going to end up in situation of a stall is when you're either on takeoff or on landing, because you're on slow speed and you're doing maneuvers and you can screw up pretty easy. If you're in cruise, you're cruising at 90 knots. You're not going to stall at 90 knots unless you do a dynamic stall, but that is another story. So the chance you stall in cruise is like pretty much inexistent. But the way the Europeans do it is you stall and you push forward to gain speed. The problem by doing that is if you're just taking off and you have like, I don't know, or you, even on approach, and you have like 500-600 feet over the ground and you have a stall, by losing 200 feet on only on altitude will definitively save your life. Then if you do a stall, I'll show you the way the Europeans like to do it. I'm at 6,700 feet. I'm a little bit higher. I'm going to maintain that and I see how much distance I'm going to lose. Maintain my altitude. I have to remember push forward as well, because I don't have the reflex yet. Okay. Now I'm pushing forward, gaining some speed, and I push back. Oh, a little bit too fast here. See, I don't even have a trick. So how much altitude did I lose there? Like 2, 3, 4, 500 feet. I mean, twice the amount of altitude I lost by doing the North American or Canadian way to do a stall. So that is a good exercise to do, just to get a hand on, learn to trim the plane, learn how to recover. And now we're going to do, I'm going to reduce the speed. I'm going to climb first at 6,500 feet. Maintain the same altitude. And we're going to do another stall, but this time with unlanding configuration. And to retrim my plane. Yeah, I'm trimming just by looking outside and look inside. See, the plane is getting speed, it's normal. So up, I retrim till I stabilize. Let's see how I am here. Yeah, it's not too bad. Small little correction. So now I'm going to slow down, and I'm going to get flaps. And now I'm going to look, and it will be interesting to know at what speed we're going to stall, if we can see. Okay, I get my first flaps. Slow down a bit more. So a piston engine, usually you never remove the power at once. You always go slow, because you don't want to damage your engine. Even though we're on a flight sim. Yeah, simulation. There you are, so I'm right there. There you go. How much feet? Already 50 feet. I lost. I didn't forget to check the speed. You can check that on the rewind. Hopefully we'll see. So in real life, when we practice stall, the first sign of the stall, you recover from the stall. You don't wait for me. Every time I wait for the stall to arrive. In real life, you never wait for the stall to arrive. You feel you have a first sign. So the first sign is a buzzer. That is where you release and you recover. Why? Because let's try that again. Remove the flaps. I don't know why I don't have any speed here, but oh yeah, I have full flaps. So here I'm going to try to do a spin. There you go. Yeah, you have a spin. Now you need to recover, so you let the control back and you push back and you add power. I'm going to make another one because actually I forgot to show my hand. I climb 6,000 feet. We do a spin. It's kind of exciting because it's been like literally like 20 years since I done spin. So there you go. Spin coming here, speeding up. As airspeed is going up. No point that you go too fast on speed anyway. Just get the power back. Let's try that again. No flaps, clean configuration. Just to confirm. Okay, go back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Oh, no, I didn't want to go. Yep. So technically I go there, neutral, and I push back. And of course I don't forget to add power. There you go. The spin, the second one was not really spin. It was a spin at the end because I forced it. But, okay, so I'm going to do the steep turn. So my airplane is, so we're going to do some steep turn. That is part of what you do for your private license and your commercial license. I'm in the airline now. I just done it once, a few times on my initial, and I never really redone that after. But in some of the PPCs I done through my career in aviation, I had to do it on and off this steep turn. Steep turn and stall usually is stuff you do once in a while just to make sure you know how to recover and offset, know how to recover an aircraft. So here we have 10, 20, 30 degrees. That is 60 degrees. And right in between is 45 degrees. So that is where we want to go. We want to get right in between 30 and 60 degrees. And I'm going to turn to the to reduce some power. There you go. I will know why soon. I'm going to reduce power. I'm going to trim my plane. Not quite on east here. So I'm going to try to do this steep turn. Just let you know, it's been a long time since I've done any, so I don't guarantee you it's going to be pretty. I am my altitude, I am my heading. I'm going to do 180-degree turn to the right, level off, and set up to another steep turn to the left, and head back to the east. When I'm going to turn to the 30 degrees angle, I'm going to add a little bit power, and I'm going to trim back also as well. Try to maintain the 5,500 feet of altitude. And so let's go. 30 degrees. Add a little bit of power. There you go. 45 degrees. Up, I'm descending, correcting. So the trick is about, I'm already there, it goes fast. Okay, level off, and I go back to this one. So I'm not touching my power, I leave it the way it is. I just have to muscle it out a little bit. And when I'm about 30 degrees, so 120, I can start leveling off, and usually it should stop roughly at east, yeah, a little bit off. Not perfect, but I'm in the standard here. I'm in the more or less 100 feet. There you go. And here I leave my power up. I was supposed to remove some power to prevent the plane to climb, but it's okay. There you go. I think that's it for this demo. We look a little bit at all the basic flying. What else? That's it. Don't forget, I got a Discord group. Check on the descriptive. I don't know at the time you're looking the video if I will still be doing that, but just check it out. I give one-on-one courses to people who need some training, advice. We can practice stuff like that. I'm just a little bit bored. My company doesn't keep me busy enough, so I'm more than happy to help people who need some advice, help. I've already been helping people here. I see Bonifacio, and yeah, that's it. Thank you, and see you in next video.